Hello everyone, I am Varsha and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. And as you all know, the series is all about the prominent achievers of the country who has made India proud in some way or the other. So in the same sequence today, we have with us Mr. Ramaswamy Perumal, who is the CEO of HGrab Informatics Private Limited.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
A very warm welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So to begin the session with, could you please tell us something about you and your professional growth?
So
Yes.
thanks, Varsha. So I am Ram and I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Having completed my CA around more than 30 years back, I started my career with a large accounting firm. And so I was in practice until 2000. And in 2000, when I saw the advent of technology into India, I felt that's a good area to get into since I thought that can make your work a lot more efficient. And so it was actually in the initial stages of the technology with the word 2K in that particular year. I went into technology, then moved into the corporate world in 2000. And so I continued to be until 2016 with large corporates heading various company. And initially, though I started with technology, I started blending technology with finance. I went into the outsourcing. And in 2004, when finance and accounts outsourcing was just beginning to happen in India, I was there and I was able to actually bring global customers to India in terms of the finance and accounts outsourcing. And so currently I head the company called HGrab Informatics, which is into providing services to global company on finance and technology services. And I'm also deep into academics. I love academics quite a lot. And over the years, I have actually qualified myself with top qualifications in the US. And so I think I need to contribute to the society. So I also teach and on the professional subjects in finance.
How did you actually come across the idea of starting with this business? I mean, what was the thought process about it?
So the first 17 years when I was in practice, I was running my own accounting firm. And when I went into the corporate world, I did pick up the how the corporate work, and I got to get the global exposure while traveling across the globe, working for the large company. So then it kindled me the interest that earlier I used to be in practice, and I wanted to get back into starting something on my own. And I felt that that's a big opportunity, and especially my forte is finance. And if I can get into a deeper finance domain, and also the technology experience which I've actually gathered over the period, I thought it would be really good. And I took the decision, though it was much late in my career. I thought it was the right time for me to get into. And in 2016, I decided, and then 2017, I actually got into this company. And since then, I've been into HGrab Informatics, growing this company now.
Tell us something about your journey, how it has been till now, like what sort of challenges you have faced, and also how you find a solution to those challenges.
So even though I was very experienced in terms of having a long career with my professional practice and in the corporate world, starting a company is not that easy. One in terms of the compliance, second in terms of the funding. So even though the funding was available, I decided to invest on my own and probably get into external funding later on. So funding would be a big challenge, and you need to definitely make sure that you have the proper funding. You don't overspend anything in the initial days until you actually get the market. And then the second, I think, is going to be the most important for any business to survive is going to be getting the customer. And especially me being into a global service area, getting customers a big challenge. We don't have any marketing arm in the US, but still we manage out of the contacts to get few customers. And second is getting the right people to be in the organization, because once you get the customer, you need to retain the customers too, and you definitely need to service them with the best quality. And I wouldn't say it's a big challenge, but definitely you need to plan that. You need to get the best people in your team and make sure that you're continuously customer centric and know the customer is very happy. These are challenges in terms of acquiring the customers, but you definitely need to keep on making sure that you deliver well to the customer. I would say the major challenge even now is in terms of actually growing the businesses, acquiring more and more customers. It's a long way, but I think if you have the passion and if you sustain and you really no you may come across many challenges while you actually go through the journey. And in the last 3 years, we have come across various challenges, and so every challenge was an experience for us. Even though I came late in my life, I think I learned a lot for every small mistake we have made and how we can actually come back later on. Those experiences later on helped us in terms of how better we can actually manage the situation. We are still growing now, and we hope to continue this way.
So now, as we have talked about the past, how does the future of your company or the organization look like?
So we are just 3 years old, and so we have built services to the customers, and it is mostly services. Now we are basically looking at building a technology and productizing our service. Some of the key areas which we service are very, very unique, and we have already built certain technologies. We are trying to wrap up everything into one lot and productize. So that is one. And the second is we are also looking at the SaaS model in the finance domain. It's something which we are looking at, and very soon we'll come out with something on that. And the third is, so we have also got into the SAP consulting on the cloud. We feel that that SAP actually has a very large market share across the globe. And so we are into that, and we currently provide solutions to global customers. We plan to expand SAP implementation and consulting.
Okay, that's really nice, sir. Okay, so tell us a bit about your company's product and services, sir, and also put a light on how people can reach you for your services.
So right from setting up a shared service for any company and running the shared service, it could be on the finance and accounting. As I mentioned to you, the global companies are looking forward to optimizing their cost, and even Indian companies are looking at optimizing their cost. So our product, the main product, is basically into setting up a shared service for any large company, and then running the complete finance department. So that's on the transaction processing system. The second is we are deep into analytics. We are specialized in terms of reviewing government financial statements for various fiscal research work. And currently, we are just completing the review of around 25,000 government entities in the US. And we are very strong in terms of understanding the government financial, and we do want to replicate to various other countries. The US market, because the way the financial statements are presented and a lot more structured, we have just started with that, and sure, no, this will be a service which we want to extend to other countries. And so we are also into analyzing the pension funds across various state plans in the US, which is around $4 trillion. So this is a very specialized niche area where our team reviews and looks into the sufficiency of the asset for the liability of the pension. So so we are also into analytics, and it could be large data, as I mentioned to you, all the government financial statement, where it is a very large data where we were able to actually review and analyze the data. So we are looking at big data analytics also. and also into SAP implementation and consulting. We are currently consulting a couple of companies in the US. We understand the business process for various companies, either it be in the manufacturing or in the retail or in the trading. It could be in any service area too. So we do understand the business processes, and so we are currently consulting and implementing SAP solutions.
So basically, sir, there is this question, which is one of my favorites actually, that what do you have to say about winning this Indian Achievers Award? I mean, what were your feelings about it?
Yeah, I was really excited about it, one. And this is the second award we are getting this year. The earlier award we got it was in February 2020. So we got the Excellence in Finance Award in Dubai from the Finext conference. So we were pleasantly surprised when we got this note that no, we have been selected for this award. Very exciting, but at the same time, I think it throws up a lot of responsibility on us. And so we do know that the result of the award is something which we need to contribute. We need to be contributing to the society in terms of what we can do as part of this ecosystem. So I think one is excitement, the other is the responsibility.
Right. Okay. So, sir, if you could, put some light on your organization's social contribution.
Sure. Yeah. So me personally, I am a director in a Rotary Club. It's one of the largest club in Chennai, and I've been the director for community services development for the last 2 years. And some of my pet projects which I've initiated, which involves a lot of my time to actually get involved in that. One is I'm working on a career intentionality for underprivileged girl children across various government schools. And so we are covering something like 500 children. We are going through skill development for the girl children so that they're able to actually take a proper decision when they complete the school. And so also into a couple of other eco-related projects like providing green cover, water body restoration. And so I'm also part of the district where we are working on setting up a vision center to basically avoid the avoidable blindness. So I do want to continue contributing to the society. I think it gives a lot of satisfaction. And so this happened a couple of years back with starting with the Rotary Club. Maybe looking at further more in the future in whatever way I can contribute. I think we have actually taken a lot of resources and to make us come up to this stage. And I think we have a responsibility from our side to contribute, and I would like to continue this.
So, sir, nowadays if we see like our honorable Prime Minister also, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, has been emphasizing on Atmanirbhar Bharat a lot. So, what is your organization like? How is your organization working towards it?
So we are currently servicing a global company, especially the US company. And if you see, we are providing employment to a lot of people. And I believe that we have a lot of talent in India. And for example, we have around $3.2 trillion with 1.3 billion people. On a comparison basis, if you take a state like California in the US, there are just 30 million people, and they actually have a GDP of say $3.2 trillion, which is equivalent to India's GDP. So with a very small population, they're able to actually come to that level. I think there's a lot of potential, and I believe that providing employment and upskilling the people can contribute to the GDP, and hence you may be able to actually deliver services that were not thought about earlier from India. Mm-hmm. And I would definitely want to be part of that in terms of the contribution to this initiative.
That's lovely, sir. So before concluding our this beautiful session of ours, I would like you to give some advice or some suggestion to our new generation, who want to get into this entrepreneurship someday.
I think looking at if we want our India GDP from 3.2 trillion to move to say $5 trillion, I think it is not going to be the large company alone contributing to building up the GDP. I think each and every person who's interested in doing business will have to plunge into business. And if you think that future is going to be a good time, in terms of plunging, I think it's a wrong advice. If you think you have a solution, you have some service, you're passionate about entrepreneurship, plunge into the business. Of course, you will face a lot of hurdles, but I think as you overcome that, it will make you much more stronger. And it's not going to be an easy journey, but I'm telling you definitely that in the long run, the satisfaction you would get out of it. One, in terms of actually contributing something to the economy, and think about providing employment. It is not about going and becoming an employee to somebody else, but providing employment. So that satisfaction is going to be a lot. It's going to be quite difficult, and if you're having some idea, just plunge into that, and make sure you have the planning right. So it is not that you should plunge into something which is unknown. Do your planning right and get into that. It is not going to be easy, but I'm sure you will actually overcome. And if you're going to be passionate about what you're going to be doing, and having that focus in terms of quality and having a right team, and keeping your employees and customers happy, I'm sure you will definitely win in the long run.
And I think that's a great advice too, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for being with us today and sharing such great experience of yours with us, and also your advice. And I wish you all the good luck for all your future projects too. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Varsha, and thanks to IAF for giving this award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.